everyone, welcome back to Homegrown Passion. One of my favorite videos to do is the greenhouse update. I love showing off everything that's going on in here, even if it's good, bad, or whatever. As you can tell, I'm a little bit messy, got some cleaning to do. You can tell by the pepper plants, but I really have some nice things growing, so I look forward to showing you everything, so stay tuned. First off, I want to show you the cucumber plants. As you can see, these are the older ones, Poinetta, and these are my newer ones, Tyra. These guys have been producing since about April 1st. I've been averaging about 360 cucumbers so far off of this section. And now that these ones are coming on board, I'm hoping to get 80 to 90 cucumbers every week. And you might notice that these guys look a little bit yellow. Well, I tried to cheap it out and use some different iron, and it wasn't the same consistency of what I usually have in stock. It was a little bit more granular, and I don't think the plants were able to take it up as much. It didn't dissolve in the water because that's hard for plants to do the iron. So I went back to the more expensive stuff and been putting it in, and I'm already seeing the difference that the leaves are getting darker green. As I was just walking back through, I see a cucumber I forgot to harvest. We've been harvesting every single day because if you don't, with this warm weather, the younger fruit will shrivel up and die if you don't get the mature fruit off, because it puts all the energy into making seeds. So you definitely want to get these off. And the older plants, it's so funny. They start producing cucumbers low, then it goes up to the top, then it starts doing low again. It's like they go through a cycle up and down the plant. And I always like it when it's low and medium. It's easier for me to pick. So let me get this guy off, and I'm going to take you in the head house and show you all the cucumbers I got today, and we'll get them blown. So here's my harvest from this morning. I already have some wrapped, need to blow them yet, but I wanted to show you the cucumbers. Look at these guys. And this one, he is 17 inches long. Isn't that amazing? Look how nice and straight he is. So let me go ahead and get the rest of these guys wrapped up and blown and put them in the cooler. So I leaned and lowered tomatoes yesterday. Always makes a big mess, so I got a cleanup to do. But when we lean and lower, because we have a shorter greenhouse, some of the tomatoes end up on the concrete, so I put styrofoam underneath them so they don't get little dimples in their skin. And also I have to go through and put truss hooks up because it holds the tomatoes when they get heavy. And you connect it to the string there so the little branch here doesn't bend and break. The tomato plants also are showing some of the iron deficiency because these plants are all on the same formula. It's a vine crop custom formula that I have that goes through our dosatron system. So it does the tomato plants, the peppers, and the cucumbers. So now that I got the new iron, everybody here should start to get nice and green. And if you notice this, when I was leaning and lowering, every once in a while a stem will bend and crack a little bit, and found out over the years that if you put a little athletic tape on it, it supports the plant and it heals itself and you don't lose the whole plant. It's a really good way to fix it up. Here I am in the pepper jungle. These plants are getting so big, they're way taller than I am, so I usually need to use a ladder to get the top pepper plants. They've been in production since last August, and every week I've been averaging between 80 and 100 peppers. Luckily my CSA program takes them all, which makes it really nice for me because I enjoy growing them. I don't have any pretty colored ones to show you, but these nice green ones will be ready next week, and I think this guy is a yellow, so they'll turn a really pretty yellow. Well, I found a yellow one to show you. Isn't that beautiful? What I'm amazed about the pepper plants is I have not had any pest problems with them. They've been in here almost a year, like I said. I haven't found any aphids, whiteflies, thrips. They've been really insect resistant, which I'm really happy about. So that makes me confident to keep them in here for another 6 months hopefully, because usually I always worry if we have plants in the greenhouse too long, they start getting infested, then everything spreads out for the rest of the greenhouse. So really happy that these guys are doing so well for me. So let's go down and look at the NFT channels, and I'll show you what I have growing down there. So over on this side I have my Hon Tsai Tai. It's a Asian green that has a mustard flavor. It does get flowers on it, and the flowers are edible. It's really good in soups, and like everything else, I eat it raw. So this is going to be my next week's harvest for my CSA, and you can see a little bit of the yellowing problem from the iron deficiency. Like I said, I got the new iron and everybody's getting nice and green again. On this side, I have Little Wren, which is a green Bok Choy, mini Bok Choy, and still has a couple more weeks to go in the channel, so it'll be harvested in probably 2 to 3 weeks. It looks like it's doing really good here, forming a nice little bulb, nice uniform crop. Here I have my Dandelion Greens, which are really not the weed dandelion that grow out in yards. A little bit slower growing than the Asian greens. These guys are a month old. I seeded them a month ago. So they're not going to be ready for about 3-4 weeks. So I like to get them about that big. But they're doing real good, nice uniform. Just happy here in the sunlight. These little guys, they're fennel. Love growing fennel. It's always a fun crop. I always like to change things up for the CSA program, give them a bunch of different items to put in their boxes so the customers are always excited to get something new. These guys were seeded, I think, 20 days ago. They probably have another 6-7 weeks before they're ready for maturity or ready for harvest. They'll be mature then. Thought I'd show you my hobby, my flowers. They did really well here in the greenhouse, so I'm going to get them in the flower beds this weekend and make the house look pretty. I get questions about the farm market and how much to plant for farm market, so I thought I'd show you what I do. It's a midweek market I do. It's on a Wednesday. It's from 4 to 6, so it's only 2 hours, so it's a very small market. So this is what I plant. I have all my lettuces, all the way down to Swiss chard and bok choy and bulb fennel in between. So it's not a whole lot that I do. It's enough, but I always sell out, but I don't sell out too fast. Right before the market closes is usually when I sell out. And what I like to do is every week I plant the same thing. So once a week on Saturday morning, I plant 24 Rex, I plant 24 Mure, because I want to make sure I bring the same product week after week, because that's what my customers expect. If they want romaine lettuce, they want to make sure, they want my romaine lettuce, so I make sure I have it for them, because I hate to turn people away. And they get used to what you have, and I always make sure I put it on the same place on the tables, because if I mix it up, everybody always gets confused.
Well, here's the update on the deep barrel. I have my beets that I harvested, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. And I think since I took a lot of them out, the big ones out, the other ones have taken off really well. Let me show you one back here. That's pretty big. It is out of the growing media. Here he is. Look at that. Nice looking beets. So now I got quite a few more to harvest. If you guys have any good recipes, because I usually roast them or pickle them. I know there's other things I can do with beets, but I'm sure you guys have some good suggestions. So if you could leave it down below for me, that would be awesome. So let me see if there's any more. Oh yeah, here's another guide. Get out of the growing medium. Not quite as big, but still a nice size beet. And that looks like about it for now. Let these other ones go for a week, and we'll do something else with them. So my other video on the deep barrel, I had all the parsnips growing in here, and they were lots and lots of foliage, but not really big. And I did find out that you're supposed to grow parsnips in the fall, so you get the cooler nights, so you get the sugars in there. So I have the empty barrel here. And I'd say about a month ago, I picked up some organic ginger at the grocery store and put it on the kitchen counter, hoping it would sprout. And they did. Lots of nice little, I think they're nodes. So I want to plant ginger in this barrel. I know ginger takes about 10 months to grow before you get a really good harvest. But you have to put it about 2 inches deep into the growing medium, which I'm going to do here shortly. And it needs to be harvested once the leaves turn a little brown and die back. I did grow ginger a few years ago, and I had really nice big blooms, and it was like 6 months old. I thought, it's probably ready. I dug around and saw it looked like it was pretty big, but once I harvested it wasn't. So I'm going to let this go until the leaves die back, and I'm really looking forward to a nice ginger harvest, because what goes better with all the Asian greens that I grow for ginger. So let's go ahead and get this planted. As you know, I don't mind getting dirty, so I use my hands. Place it in there nice and gently. Make sure nothing breaks off, and just kind of lightly cover them up. There's one. Move the emitters out of the way a little bit. Down there, a couple inches. To this guy. Over here. In this part of the barrel, I have it spread out. They have room to grow. I think the emitters are in good places. And I'll keep you updated. One more place to take you guys. Let's go over and check out the strawberries in the high tunnel.
Here I am out in the high tunnel. Don't have my middle row of strawberries yet. Had a project with the greenhouse that we had to get done. On the one side, the boards were coming up and just had to dig it out and fix that. We're doing a whole video on that to show you how we repaired that. But my strawberries that are here are going crazy. I've already picked 67 pounds in the past 2.5 weeks, I think it was, or 2 weeks. Not very long time to get that many strawberries. Because I remember last year when they first started producing, I was maybe getting 10 pounds a week, and now I've gotten 64 in 2.5 weeks. It's really just mind-boggling. And I harvested yesterday really hard, and look at how many more are nice and ripe and ready to go. So I think I'll harvest tomorrow, because I've been harvesting every other day or every third day with the strawberries, because you don't want to leave them on the vine too long. You know, you want them to get nice and ripe, but if you let them go too long, they get too soft and mushy and don't last very long in the coolers. I did have some plants that didn't make it over winter, as I explained in previous videos, if you guys haven't watched it. And I transplanted new bare root, and they're taking off, getting nice leaves. I'm gonna have to really pay attention to the ones in between the mature plants, because I do want to take the flowers off until they get the 5 leaves, because you don't want them to have strawberries too soon, because then you don't get a good crop for the whole season. I know that most of you are here to watch about hydroponics and growing lettuce and tomatoes, but I love my flowers. So in my downtime in the evenings, I've been getting my hanging baskets ready, and I got a bunch more flowers behind me going, ready to get into pots and baskets around the house. All of my flowers, I started from seed. I had a big schedule of when to start them. Some I started in March, beginning of March, some in the end of March, some in April. Got my geraniums, and I put everybody in solo cups, and they're just really doing good. Got some cut flowers I'm going to do. I got some zinnias, and I also have some snapdragons growing. I've had a lot of questions about the grow bags, and here's what I found out over the past couple of years of growing. In the grow bags, the plants do really well, and the strawberries get really big, but they're not as prolific. The harvest amounts are way more in the beetle buckets, but if you're looking for a nice large juicy strawberry to maybe dip in chocolate or for a specialty, the grow bags are the way to go. I mentioned before that I have another row inside the high tunnel and 2 more rows outside for strawberries. I'm not going to buy any more of the beetle buckets. I'm going to do them all in the grow bags. Well, I hope you liked today's video. I love doing updates for you to show you what I have going on, and if you guys always give me good suggestions and questions, and I like to answer them. So I'm going to end the video here, and like always, please leave me questions, comments, and suggestions down below, and please subscribe so we can keep growing the channel.